The movie opens with a man walking into his best friend's apartment, looking for her. His name's Josh, and his friend is Celine. The house is a mess, with bottles of alcohol strewn all over the place, and dirty clothes on the floor. Celine is passed out on her bed when Josh wakes her up to see if she's okay. The day before, Celine found her boyfriend with another woman, and it traumatized her, despite them being in an open relationship. Their other friend TK arrives, and Celine discloses the whole story. Celine had plans to seduce her boyfriend, after not hearing from him for some time. We see a flashback as she primps herself up with makeup and cute lingerie. She is feeling confident and beautiful, ready to take on the world. Her boyfriend is watching rugby on TV when she enters. He looks confused and a bit frightened when he sees her, but Celine doesn't even greet her. She straight up takes off her coat and starts her seduction act. The man is speechless, and Celine thinks she managed to seduce the words out of his mouth. How wrong she is. Another woman is in the kitchen, watching the whole thing play out. She doesn't look happy. When Celine finally sees her, she puts her coat back on and runs away from the apartment, humiliated and embarrassed. TK interrupts her to ask why she's so upset, since she agreed to be in an open relationship. Celine doesn't know what to say. The truth is that she wants love, and she agrees with anything to make her partner happy. It dawns on her that she's too jealous and possessive to be in an open relationship, something that her friends already know. Celine wants to stay home feeling sorry for herself, but TK thinks it's better if she goes out. Celine isn't looking forward to going to work, but she agrees that it's better than her pity party. Despite her horrible dating history, Celine is a successful dentist with her own clinic. She has many loyal patients and good employees. While at work, her boyfriend keeps calling her, but she refuses to pick up. She still doesn't know what to say to him. He wasn't cheating on her, yet seeing another woman with him was hard. Later that day, Celine is alone at home reading a book when Josh arrives. Celine jokes that it's a miracle that he visited twice in one day, but then she sees the look on his face. He doesn't have good news. Celine's boyfriend was in an accident and ended up passing away. It's a blow to Celine and she can't believe it. Josh stays with her as she cries and grieves. She feels guilty for not picking up his calls and talking to him. Maybe if she did, she could have prevented him from passing away. The next morning, Celine wakes up alone. Josh stayed with her all night long and left for work. Celine finds a note from him saying that he called all her friends to help her. It's a sweet gesture and everything Celine needs. As she gets up from bed, she decides that she won't stay in bed crying. When her friends arrive, they find her dancing with her vacuum cleaner and know right away that she's freaking out. Celine has 3 close friends besides TK and Josh. Preeti is a nice woman who works with Celine. Judy is very religious and always invites Celine to attend church with her. And then there's Robin, Celine's sister. Celine vents about her boyfriend and how she shouldn't have gone to his house. As they talk, there's news on TV about the accident, and the woman who was with her boyfriend is giving an interview. The woman is gorgeous, but there's something sketchy about the way she's acting in the interview. TK points that out, but her other friends brush her off. They think she's just traumatized. Josh and his work friends are also talking about the interview, though with more malicious intentions. Josh works at a successful advertising company, and they want to take care of a famous woman named Belinda. If they get her as a client, it will be a great achievement for the company. Moving on, that weekend is Robin's engagement party, and Celine has to go back home. She invites Josh to go with her, and the two of them take a short trip together. During the ride, Celine talks about her boyfriend again, saying she feels guilty for how he passed. It's not the first time Celine has taken something that has nothing to do with her personally, so Josh just rolls his eyes at her drama. She lost a boyfriend, sure, but they weren't together for too long, and it was an accident. For Josh, she shouldn't shed so many tears and feel so sad about a man who didn't care for her all that much. When they arrive at Celine's parents' home, her mother is there, eagerly waiting. She's happy to have the whole family reunited again, especially because both her daughters live in the city. They barely see each other unless it's a special occasion. Her mother is also happy to see Josh. Her dream is for Celine to marry Josh. The two of them have known each other for years, and they have great chemistry. Josh is very successful too, and they could have a good life together. Celine, of course, despises her mother's overbearing behavior. The party comes, and Robin freaks out for a moment. Celine comforts her, making sure her sister knows that if she needs to escape, Celine will help her. Robin takes a deep breath and decides that she wants to move forward and get married. Celine feels afloat with everything that is happening around her. Her boyfriend's sudden passing left a bad taste in her mouth. It makes her ponder her life and how much time she's wasting with useless relationships that go nowhere. After the weekend with her family, she wonders if dating Josh would be that horrible. Maybe her mother's right, and the two of them would make a great couple. The only issue is that Celine isn't sure she can see him as more than a friend. Unbeknownst to her, Josh is also in a difficult position at his job. Belinda is attracted to him, and his co-worker Otis wants him to seduce her so they can get her as a client. Josh refuses to sell himself for money, but Otis insists it will be good for business. Belinda is also very beautiful, so it wouldn't hurt him to try. A few days after the party, Celine goes out with TK and admits to her that she's thinking about Josh. TK scoffs in disbelief. Celine has just lost someone important to her, yet she's already thinking about her next relationship. Not only that, she wants to mess with Josh. TK loves Celine to bits, but she knows her friend well enough to know when she's bored with her life. Celine is the type of person who constantly needs something happening. Otherwise, her life has no meaning. Later on, the friends go to Robin's bachelorette party to watch movies and get drunk. Josh and his friend, including the groom-to-be, Nicholas, go to a nightclub for Nicholas's bachelor party. They also get very drunk and barely enjoy the night. They feel old and tired after a few hours in the nightclub. Josh wants to go home, but Nicholas wants to stay for a bit longer. He confesses to his friends that this will be his last opportunity to go crazy, because Robin takes care of him with a tight leash. She proposed and is planning the entire wedding without his help. The only thing she allowed him to plan was his bachelor party. Otis is his stepbrother and decides to help him out, since he's considered a loser. Throughout the night, he loses his mind and parties hard. Josh has to keep an eye on him so he doesn't do anything he might regret later. In the meantime, he exchanges messages with Celine. The girls' party is filled with laughter and dance, and it's a great time for all of them. Seeing her sister so happy sends warmth through Celine's chest. At the same time, she ponders about marriage, and if she's truly made for it. She doesn't know if she'll ever be ready to get married and have children. It's a strange concept for her, and she commends Robin for knowing exactly what she wants. After she hears Celine talking about marriage as if it's a prison, Robin cries and starts having doubts again. Celine doesn't notice that her sister's freaking out, but some time later, Josh calls asking what's happening. He informs her that Robin canceled the wedding, much to Celine's confusion. When she questions her sister, she nonchalantly replies that she really canceled it. Nicholas is crying and being overdramatic at the nightclub, but Robin only dances more. It takes some time for Celine and her friends to convince Robin to change her mind. She's just drunk. She loves Nicholas and was looking forward to the wedding. Fortunately, the next morning, Robin changes her mind again, and the wedding is on. Over the following weeks, a lot changes in Celine's life. She starts noticing Josh more, and old feelings start to resurface. It's not the first time Celine has romantically thought about Josh, but she always brushes her feelings away, because they are friends first. Josh also has an on and off girlfriend named Nima, a beautiful woman who hates Celine. Josh and Nima have been together for some time, but their relationship is mostly carnal. With Nima, Josh can show his true face, and it's not always pretty. Celine knows the goody two-shoes Josh, but Nima knows the wild Josh. The two of them argue all the time, and it always ends between the sheets. Whenever Nima is around Josh and Celine is there too, she feels jealous and bitter. Celine is a pretty woman, but Nima is something else. She's sensuous and confident. She makes Celine insecure. What she doesn't know is that Nima is also insecure about Celine. She knows Josh has feelings for her, though he never admits it. Nima is tired of waiting for Josh to gather the courage to propose, so she takes matters into her own hands. But first, she needs to cut Celine out of his life. Her idea is to invite Celine and the man she thinks she's dating to a dinner party. Celine agrees, even though she's not dating anyone anymore. Before the dinner party, she has to find the perfect date to take with her, because she refuses to be alone with Josh and Nima. Celine starts going on a bunch of dates until she finds a handsome man she likes named Richard. He's a patient at her clinic, and the moment her eyes fell upon him, she liked him. Richard is nice and successful, and he's attracted to Celine too. The day of the dinner party arrives, and things are awkward. The last thing Josh wants during his birthday is to see Celine with another man. Nima can see how uncomfortable he is with Richard's presence. When it's time to eat the cake Nima bought, Josh has an allergic reaction. Celine asks for his EpiPen, but Nima doesn't have it. Celine quickly jumps to her feet and takes Josh to the hospital. Nima is angrier than ever. She wants Celine gone for good from Josh's life. It doesn't help that Celine rips her apart for forgetting that Josh is allergic. He could have passed away if Celine's reaction wasn't so fast. It's unforgivable. The two women start to argue in the hospital corridor, and Nima snidely informs Celine that Josh proposed. It's not true. Nima bought the ring to propose to him during the dinner party, but then Josh had to be taken to the hospital. Celine doesn't know that, though, and it hurts her a lot that Josh didn't tell her about his proposal. She thought the two of them shared everything, but apparently she was wrong. Tired of arguing with Nima, Celine decides to leave. She says goodbye to Josh and softly kisses his hand. Richard, who was waiting for her, sees the gesture and understands what's happening. Celine isn't in the mood to continue her date with Richard, so she decides to go home. Despite the mess and not-so-subtle aggression between Nima and Celine, Richard liked Celine. She's fun, pretty, and smart. Celine feels bad for ruining the date with him, but he refuses to give up so easily. After the dinner party, things are strained between Celine and Josh. She's deeply hurt that he didn't tell her about the proposal, and her feelings aren't helping. She feels like she will lose him when he marries Nima, and that's not something she's ready for. Robin's wedding comes, and the best friends meet again. Josh knows there's something wrong with Celine. She's been too quiet lately. He tries to confront her at the wedding, and she asks if there's something he wants to tell her. He denies it. Celine laughs bitterly at his lack of confidence in her, and leaves him hanging. Later that day, Josh goes to her house to talk to her in private. Celine doesn't want to talk to him, but he insists. Josh finally explains what happened with Nima. A few days after the birthday party, he came home to a romantic setting. Deep down, he already knew what was about to happen, so he wasn't surprised. Nima didn't give him time to think before she said she would marry him. Josh explained to her that he didn't want to marry her, and Nima started acting crazy. Celine laughs and points out that she warned him that Nima was mad. Josh decides that is the moment for him to open his heart to Celine. After so many years, he confesses his feelings to her, saying that he has always loved her, even when they were kids. He never said anything because he was afraid of losing her. Celine is shocked by his confession, but her heart flutters wildly in her chest. It's everything she ever wanted. At the same time, she's afraid of changing their relationship too. Josh starts leaving after her rejection, but Celine stops him. The two of them finally kiss and get intimate. The next day, Nima is waiting for Josh to come back, with her bags packed. She knows he slept with Celine. Josh tries to explain that he loves Celine, but Nima scoffs. She says that Celine will never know him like she does. She knows that Josh isn't the goody two-shoes he pretends to be, and Celine doesn't. She leaves with a bang, saying that when he's tired of playing nice, to come looking for her. Josh doesn't know how to feel. The following morning, Celine meets her friends, but she doesn't look happy or excited. It's almost as if her night with Josh showed her that they won't be good as romantic partners, and that hurts. She doesn't understand why, or what's wrong with her. Josh is perfect. He's nice, handsome, successful, and her best friend. He knows her already, so there won't be any surprises. When the moment came, though, there were no sparks. It was bland at best. Differently from her, her friends are excited about it. They even made a bet about when they would sleep together, much to Celine's chagrin. She doesn't want to share what she perceives as a failure, and quickly comes up with an excuse to leave. Celine goes home to clean and clear up her mind. Then she decides to focus on her work and expanding her clinic, something she already wanted to do. Later that day, she goes out for coffee with Josh, and things are awkward. For the first time in their friendship, they don't know how to act around each other. They realize, then, that it won't work between them. It's better if they are just friends. After the date, Josh goes to Belinda's house. She's waiting for him, wearing only a silky robe. Josh feels his heart pounding faster in his chest, and excitement filling every pore in his body. The two of them get intimate. Back at Celine's place, she also gets a visit. It's Richard. She's happy and thrilled to see him again. Differently from their first date, she's more than ready to give him a chance, after finding out she wouldn't work with Josh. The two of them also get intimate. On their next girls' day out, Celine brings Richard so her friends can get to know him. He's not intimidated, and speaks respectfully to all of them. All her friends like him right away. Robin whispers to a besotted Celine that she likes Richard, and Celine replies that she does, too. The movie ends much differently from the beginning. Celine moves on from her late boyfriend, and from her crush on Josh. She learned that love isn't always the easy path, and that sometimes it won't work the way she wants it to. The only thing that truly matters is that she has her friends around her, and her life isn't bad. She has a good job, a great family, and now she has Richard too.